do you have any closing advice to the young men out there, the guys who are 17, 18, 19,
Sure.
20, 21?
Sure.
What would you say to them?
People always ask me this too. They say, well, Rollo, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self? And my answer is none, because my 18-year-old self would tell you to go fuck off. But what they're saying is like, what would you do different if you knew it now? That's really what they're saying.
Right.
I think number one, you already hit on it, which is you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to adapt and improvise, and you need improvisation and adaptation. You need to be able to be imaginative. You need to be able to sort of see like the code in the matrix, right? You need to be able to see where your strengths are, be able to play to those strengths and how to leverage those with an understanding of, depending on what you want to do. Like I said, money, muscles, and game, right? Muscles is almost like too easy, because you can, like today, we know the technology, we know nutrition, we know workouts, we know, like back when I was working out and it was Joe Weider and, Mr. Olympia and, Muscle and Fitness magazine, that's what we had to go on. We didn't have an internet. My brother, by the way, is an amateur. Well, he used to be an amateur circuit bodybuilder. And so that's how we would work out. And we go, oh, let's try this time. Right. And we're sort of figuring things out. Well, here you are in 2022, you got no excuse, man. Right. There's a million dudes, schlepping fitness on YouTube right now. You could probably find one that has some pretty good advice and you can definitely get jacked. Okay. That's number one. Number two is, like, if you were looking for money, if you're for muscles and money, muscles, and game, if you're looking for like the money part, there's lots of people out there with really good advice. Like, like I said, I work with Kiyosaki, but I also work with George Cam, and I work with Ken McElroy. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can like sort of learn how to maximize your hustle, right? But then when it comes to game, that's when everybody like sort of like wants to throw rocks at you, and that, which of course happens to be my wheelhouse, right? That's when they say, you're a fraud, fuck you, or else it's like, oh, thank you, you saved my life. I was actually going to hang myself and I didn't actually do it. So it goes from like really highs to really lows. It sort of just depends on what. But that's the one thing that most guys, especially men, but women as well, take the most personally. And what kills me is this, to the same degree that there is this wealth of knowledge for like fitness or for like entrepreneurship, there's also this well of knowledge for like learning women's nature, men's nature, intersexual dynamics, and how all that works together. If you're willing to sort of put down your ego and put down your pride and put down all, become like I said in Robert Greene's Mastery, become an apprentice. Most men, especially men, don't want to become an apprentice of like game or of the red pill, because they don't, that's like an ego hit. I already knew I know all this stuff already. No, you didn't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be divorced. If you did, you wouldn't have a baby out of wedlock. If you did, you would have known all of these things beforehand. And here I am telling you that, and it pisses off a lot of guys, and I get that. And I had to develop a very thick skin over the course of 20 years because of that. But know this, here's the good news, is that just like Robert Greene was saying, you got to bust yourself down to becoming an apprentice. If you can do that, you can be so much more successful in the sexual marketplace, at least as successful as you could be in getting jacked or making money in entrepreneurship, whatever of those, the trifecta that you think you have a deficit in. There's never been more collected an aggregate of knowledge than there is right now. And all you have to do is just be like, okay, this is good and this is not good, and be able a good judge of character, discerning who's full of shit and who's not full of shit. But you also have to be able to adapt. Yes. You have to understand that just because you fail at something doesn't mean you shouldn't have adapted to that. And you know what you're adapting for right now, let's like, the Tinder marketplace or whatever, or you just simply want to give up the game. You want to go MGTOW, or you want whatever. The thing is that's still a practice. Mm-hmm. You're still practicing something. It's not about the theory. It's about like, okay, well, I know red pill, but here's what I've chosen to do with it. Nothing. Right. Or here's what I've chosen to do with it. Leverage it to my advantage but like becoming the best person that I can be. Again, it's adapting. And if you don't adapt and you don't understand the situation that you're in, you're not going to succeed in those areas. And as we said before, it takes an intensity to succeed that I don't think many guys have an appreciation for. Again, good news is you can fucking do it. It's there if you want to do it.